I think for people who haven't come across you before and just know you as a name, if you like, it'd be useful for them to know what your kind of early life story was. Where have you come from, and what kind of fostered your drive for change in government and for independence, of course?
Oh, wow, that's a big area to go into. I think the first thing I would say is that in my background, I don't come from a party political family. So neither my mum or my dad were active politically in a party, but they were always very politically aware. And I was brought up in the south side of Glasgow in the multi-storey flats with my it was two older brothers, my mum and dad, and my grandfather. And we stayed in a two-bedroom flat, which was badly damp. It suffered from very serious damp problems over a very extended period of time, which sadly meant that for about 12 years, my mum and dad actually slept in a camp bed in the living room every night after finishing their work. And because my grandfather slept in the other room, which was damp, and my brother, myself and my two other brothers slept in the other room. And I always had a long-standing sense of injustice to my parents. I always felt as though they were never treated well, and they had tried to get rehoused over many, many years and had been regularly rebuffed in trying to get rehoused. And eventually got to a point where the Labour Council at that time said he would make a special case for them, which had to go to some committee. And my mum and dad had pulled together all of the evidence, all of the details over the problems they'd had for the years. And I'll always remember the night when I went to his surgery, the councillor's surgery, with my mum and dad to hear what the outcome of the special cases review meeting had been. And I'll always remember, I was sitting outside, they were inside with the councillor, and I always just remember my dad starting to really get angry. It turned out this councillor had lost their file, having built it up over years. And they were really angry and felt really badly let down by him. And I think I always had that sense of injustice, and I felt that they had been badly treated. They'd been in rent strike for years. They got a lawyer, gave him the rent money instead.
Wow.
And and I remember as a kid when I was at primary school, always being attracted to the polling places on the day, and I always found myself helping to hand out leaflets for the SNP. Because mum and dad were SNP voters at that point. And I think just that combination of having an interest in politics myself, and also that deep sense of personal injustice to my mum and dad over an extended period of time, played a big part in my political journey, and what has driven me as a politician in helping to try and tackle issues such as inequality and trying to ensure that we create a country in Scotland where nobody has to live in a damp house, and that we treat people with dignity and respect. And I think that's probably the driving factor that started as I say, my political awakening, and also my interest in what led me to get involved in politics in the first place, to try and make things better for people in a way that I felt it didn't work for me or my family at a young age.